Hello, I think we're live. How do you do, everybody? So this is relatively new to me. Forgive me if any of you are chasing up the link I put out in some social media posts on Twitter and Facebook for this stream, because that just got far too complicated. It was asking me to download some kind of software, streaming software. I'm using my GH5. This is the GH5, but it seems to connect perfectly adequately if I use the fast method to stream. But it just wasn't happening with the scheduled. Hey Keith, nice to see you. So yeah, it's great to be back. It's been a bit of a break for me. I think that I was last on with a vlog late November, and then of course December kicked in. There was always going to be a planned break sometime in December. If you remember that the season 2 started around about the beginning of December 2019. It seems so long ago. And the idea was to take a 3 or 4 week break anyway before I came out with season 3. And then, of course, for season 3 to have a new identity. But I shall talk more about that in a second. I'm just waiting to see. I've got 2 people in right now. One of them is Keith. Nice to see you, Keith. Hope you're well. Thank you. Great to see me live streaming. Yeah, I know. I think this is probably the second time, but then I'm showing my naivety because I went for the scheduled approach, and that just failed magnificently on me. But you can hear me, yes? I mean, that's the big thing. I'm assuming that you can hear me. I can see some kind of microphone bar down the bottom there, and it seems to be registering noise, so I think we're okay. So I hope you all had a great Christmas, and I hope you're all looking forward to a wonderful new year. Obviously, this one far more significant than previous ones, just to get this damned year out of the way. And of course, no better news this morning than the AstraZeneca, Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine being okayed by the moderators. So hopefully then by Monday, January the 4th, we'll have vaccines being applied. And hopefully for me, and this is a key part of the new format for the new vlogs, hopefully for me, that will head towards care homes and institutions like that initially, because I don't know how many of you are aware, but my basis for wild presentations has always been taking my shows out, the films out to the community setting, and that will include residential homes, hospices, even key stage 2 primary schools. And that obviously, as of March, April, was completely knocked on the head, and basically all my work base was annihilated somehow through great support of friends and family, and with a few commissions from Warwickshire Wildlife Trust. I've managed to pull through this far. Obviously, wild still exists, and I'm hoping that it will continue. Fingers crossed, I think it's more likely to continue now successfully through to Easter time, when I hope those institutions like the care homes, residential homes, hospices, primary schools will all be then clear to visit, to have structured visits again by people like me. So yeah, those that aren't aware, the wild presentation is actually my living. It's my profession. I do make wildlife films for a living. So this has really hit me hard, obviously. Great though to reconnect with my local patches during the initial lockdown. I hope you enjoyed those vlogs. Those that haven't seen them, please do. But it was a wonder, and just like I think the great majority of people out there, nature became a real salvation during sort of despair, anxiety, and complete disillusionment. During the height of this pandemic, back in the mid-spring there, early summer. So, but we seem to be through it now. So I have 5 in. Hey, hi, naturally curious. It's Graham, I believe. Nice to see you. So yeah, one good thing about having a GH5, obviously, is a better sort of definition of image than maybe the standard kind of webcam I've got with my my Dell here, my Dell computer. And another bad thing with this particular desktop is that the webcam is based at the bottom of the screen. So whenever I use this webcam, it's very well, the perspective is very much upwards and sort of up the nostrils, which is never good. So it was great that Lumix, Panasonic Lumix, came out with a streaming software, and I believe only about a month ago now, which has really helped me. But the one thing you can't do is you can't power this whilst you're streaming. So I'm absolutely reliant on the battery. I did do a course, an online webinar for Wildlife Trust using the GH5, and it lasted me just over 2 hours on the battery alone. So I think we're okay, at least for half an hour anyway. The Christmas break for me has been a really good break, actually. Time for reflection. I do have some commissions on for Warwickshire Wildlife Trust, which I'm working on. Some really quite exciting ones, but these few days have given me some time to reflect. I think some of you may have seen. Hi Graham. Hi, nice to see you. Nice to see you. I think some of you have possibly seen that I've rebranded the Twitter and YouTube and Facebook sites for Wild in a kind of very simple, minimalist way. And that also then is going to reflect in the way I present and produce my vlogs here on in. I've taken some feedback on board. I know that most people enjoyed season 2. I know it's a complete change from season 1. I think I like to call season 1 the Woolworths of vlogs. It seemed to be everything. I was trying to be everything to everybody and taking all my interests and putting them out there. So from kind of abject Gen X 80s stuff through to wildlife, through to funnies, and yeah. So moved on into season 2, which I think, for me personally was really a real fruitful experience. I think a lot of you enjoyed that, and it's pushed me up to over 460 now in subscribers, which is great. And I know there was a big response as well to the one tutorial kind of vlog that I put out there about creating mini storylines. So I've taken all these things on board, and I think probably I would like to make a format which is more live in a fashion. It won't be live streaming necessarily, but the idea is that I'll be out to locations, to sites, with the aim of discovering or finding something. And this would be kind of true to any recce I would do on a reserve. There would then obviously be the chance encounters with wildlife that you wouldn't expect, because this is the great thing about nature. It's quite often you'll go to these places and you'll find that what you're expecting may not be there, but then something else comes along, possibly something even better. So that kind of journey, a cliche journey of coming to a site and discovering what's there, employing the tactics which I so often profess and try and instill in people to be passive. A lot more of the hide work. I have a wonderful hide which I'm going to be using also, and obviously filming within that. So you're going to see the sort of technical aspects, also the breakdown of maybe collating audio, because a lot of the time, especially with the F82, I can't take audio that's true to the inherent microphone. Not many bad points about the F82, but that certainly is one of them, audio. And seeing how I then dub on, and hopefully by the end of each vlog, you'll have this little passage where we've been out somewhere, we've seen various things, and then I will collate the footage with soundtrack, narrative, if it needs a narrative, and the audio, show you how it's pieced together. And we'll have that as the ending of each vlog. And this is to be in a very condensed format, so it won't be kind of a long drawn affair. I want this to be kind of sharp and snappy and entertaining. And also I want to include more elements of, especially as the work comes back online, as this release from this pandemic approaches, and more people are being vaccinated, and hopefully I'll start to get the bookings through, because remember, that is the core of Wild. The core of Wild, this is a business, this is my living, is to go out to the community and distribute films. I really want to take people out there, my audience, out there with me, because there's so many great stories and there's so many characters that I meet whilst I'm out and about. And I'm sure, in fact, I know that a lot of them would like, to have a part in these vlogs. So yeah, we're going to have a mixture that's kind of very true to my existence, as opposed to anything that's composed. I'm not suggesting that anything that's gone before has been ultra composed, but I think more so you're seeing the finished, polished product. And I'm trying to get away from the staged element and more into kind of the excitement and the failure, because that's a great part. And I'm sure that most people here now that are watching me, certainly Graham, the two Grahams, but certainly Graham, who I head out with more. Failure is a big part of this. You will head out and try and locate possibly a particular species, or hope for a particular species or selection of species, and get none. But then you might get something you weren't expecting at all, which is it's a game of percentages, I think, and this is something that it's an element of jeopardy, which I think people will enjoy. It's not necessarily negative. But I would hope that if anything's lacking in the respect that we don't find anything, there will be something else that fills that void, because there's never a wasted trip, ever, never really. So that's the idea. I know I said to you that I was hoping to be back by mid-December. Obviously, that's not happened. And really, the case for that was because I did get a commission come on board, a really exciting one, which is based around the Tame Valley wetlands. So it's just north of me here. It's only a half-an-hour drive in and around Hams Hall and up by Middleton Lakes and that way. And I've been up there and I've been filming quite a bit. Lady Walk Reserve, that's the West Midlands Bird Club Reserve, for this particular project I'm on. Don't want to give too much away. I'm not sure if I can or not, but suffice to say that it is based around Britain's rarest bird. And if you know that the report that came out from the RSPB recently about the status of Britain's wildlife, and especially obviously its bird species, highlighted probably that the two most at-risk species, the two rarest, if you will, especially of woodland birds, were currently and have been for a while, I guess, the willow tit and the lesser spotted woodpecker. Well, I can tell you that during my trips in the last 2 weeks in the Tame Valley, in this most wonderful area, preserved area, through various reserves, from Lady Walk through to RSPB Middleton Lakes, I have had both willow tit and lesser spotted woodpecker. Now, lesser spotted woodpecker, for me, and I got to film both of them also, has been a 20-year wait since my last one, which was on the River Cole, actually in inner city Birmingham. They seem to love that River Cole stretch. And my last willow tit was probably in my teens. So they're doing something right up around the Tame Valley wetlands. Very, very exciting. I am going to bring in some of those clips that I've already taken. I have done some to-camera pieces around them, and they're going to form certainly part of the initial vlogs coming next month. So when I would like to imagine would be by mid-January. I know that's a full month on from when I said, but I hope you'll bear with me. And this stream now is to, in some way, trying to compensate for cheating you out of mid-December. But with the work on and with the current situation with the pandemic, and of course also just learning just now, I believe I've only just been told that we here in Warwickshire, together with, I guess it would be the Midlands, the West Midlands and Birmingham, are heading to Tier 4 tomorrow. We're in Tier 3. So all of these dynamics right now are sort of changing the mix a little bit. But I would hope to be back with a vlog 1 of season 3 by the middle of January. So I hope that suffices. I hope you bear with me. So I'm just going to read now. I've been not ignoring, but through my chat, I've not been looking. Hello, Graham Cook. Hello, Graham Barker. Hi. Hello, Graham from Naturally Curious. Hi, Keith. Wow. Hey, Random. Hi, Gail. Cooking dinner and watching. Fantastic. Hey, Ian. Hey, Ian. Brilliant. Ian Phillips. Nice to see you all. Awesome. I suppose it would make perfect sense now. I've rattled off some bits. By the way, have you seen the kind of minimalist logos I'm using, the branding, as it were, that I'm using or have initiated yesterday? And what do you think of them? Do you think they're okay? It's nice to get some feedback. The only feedback I've had so far is of Thomas and an octogenarian, Rita, my auntie Rita, and they both think that they're okay. So any feedback on the logos if you've seen them? I don't know if any of you have. Basically, it's kind of a sketch. Thank you, Gail. Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of a sketch format. So what you'll see is a representation of me when I first started, slightly slimmer than I am now, but I hope to be back there soon enough, using my Canon XH-A1S, so my big-bodied camera, which is actually tapes, still using tapes, mini DV tapes, on my old tripod, and filming Frankie, the fox. And I thought that was a nice emblem logo to have for Wild, because it arcs back to the beginnings of this venture, and a very nervous who just left nursing and was putting everything into this idea, this crazy idea you've got about making wildlife films to take out to the community. And that was really one long 6 months there filming the foxes around personal allotments. So I thought best I do a kind of logo which certainly is more flattering to me, because I'm slimmer there, but also, you know, has its roots in the basis and the foundation of wild and wild presentation. So thank you. Thanks, Graham. Thank you. Please do have a look, Graham, Naturally Curious, and feedback if you can. So yeah, it's kind of a minimalist approach, and it's significant in the respect that I want the kind of the guts of Wild now to be part of these vlogs. So we're still going to get the composed pieces, but we're going to get kind of the processes of putting them together, the challenges, the smoke and mirrors, because a lot of it can be smoke and mirrors, as is all wildlife documentary production. So you'll get to see the warts and all pre the end piece, but then you'll get to see how we can make sort of the polished finished product, which you'll see hopefully then at the end of each vlog. So yeah, I'm hoping to integrate this kind of learning process in each vlog, and also show you then how I take out these finished productions. Every so often, it won't be in every vlog, but certainly every so often you will come out with me into the community. We'll meet some great characters and you'll see responses firsthand, because, you know, for me, the rewards, certainly this year, the rewards have been purely obviously filming alone, but the rewards, and I've missed it so much, the rewards of doing this job is seeing the reactions of people's faces, people that possibly make feel that they're totally institutionalized, that they're never going to get out and see the wild and access nature again, because a lot of these people were just like us. They access nature very often. It was their freedom. It was the answer to their well-being, and here they are in a position where possibly, you know, they might think that they would never be out there again. So hopefully I'm filling that niche. I'm bringing something to them, something quite visceral, and being quite dynamic with it, to make them feel like they're accessing nature again. And certainly with the bookings that I get, and this has never been shown before, I don't think, on any wild vlogs, me going out and doing this, but certainly with the continuity of bookings I get, it's great for these people to then realize that from this experience or from the last experience, there's a regularity to it. They know I'm coming back and they're going to see the next episode, or they're going to take something else from the season that all, you know, the only reference they have is through their window or the back garden that they you know, that's attached to the residential environment they're living in. And you do meet some great characters, and you do see some great reactions, and that is very powerful. So I want that to be part of the vlogs as well. So it really is just going to be wild presentations, these vlogs, in every aspect. The filmmaking, how to make the films and the problems I face, how I make the films, the learning curve I'm on, because as much as you know, hopefully you will take from my experience, I want to take from your experience as well, so you can have to feed back to me. But also, you're going to witness me learning, and I might need your help. You know, I might need you to solve some problems for me. So yeah, very much a two-way thing, a very dynamic thing that I want to create here. And then also, then you can relish in the people's, you know, the people's responses to them when they head out into the community. And believe you me, I've had some wonderful links on especially on my Twitter and my Facebook accounts, from people in residential homes. Some of the long booking homes, and I've got some wonderful photos of them accessing these vlogs, the season 2 vlogs. Every Sunday they'd amass in the lounge, and I didn't know this until recently, and I've had 2 or 3 of them now sending pictures. They amass in the lounge every Sunday morning just after breakfast, and they watched the next episode of the vlog, whatever it was that week. And that was amazing, and that was the intention, I guess, initially, but I thought it got kind of lost in the pandemic as we progressed. But now that they were doing that, and I've got images now to actually see these people that I recognise, these regulars watching and accessing these season 2 vlogs. So that's great. So it'd be lovely to take you to them also as an audience. So I'm going to read through. Hello, World Through an End. Hi, Andy. Big fan of the new logo. Thanks, Ian. That's brilliant. Hey, Nat. Nice to see you. Natalie Hancock's. That's one of my old nursing buddies. Oh God, so many people. I'm really chuffed. 11 people. Wow. So bear with me, because this is really novel for me. This is my first proper live stream, and I can see that it's kind of talking to camera and reading comments. Has anybody got any questions? I don't want to be you know, sort of arrogant enough to think that anybody wants to ask me anything. But whilst we're here, has anybody got any questions they want to ask me? I'm not supposing you do, believe you me. Really, this was just to, you know, sort of bring you up to date with why there's been this delay, and what the plan is then for January. Really looking forward to it. I've really missed it, actually. Despite this being a good break, and it has been very fruitful, very nice leveler for me mentally, to get my head around the new direction. But dark image improvement and lens fitting for FZ82, is that something that something that I should know about? Probably, I'm not sure. I've not heard of that. Dark image improvement. I'm guessing that's the lens fitting for FZ82. I've tried various filters for the FZ82, but they've not really worked too well. Oh no, absolutely. Happy to have as am I. A complete novice to this. Yeah, I've tried some filters for the FZ82, and they really don't work too well. So I'm reliant on sort of post production and actively using or dropping down stops on the back of the camera there on the dial. I like to leave it lighter as possible, depending if there's no noise, because I like that gives me a kind of a raw file image. And I like them to darken and put contrast in post-production. But filters, ND filters, just don't work on the FZ for me. Do you record video and audio on separate devices sometimes? That's from Graham, Naturally Curious. Yes, especially with the FZ82, I do more often than not. And I know that Graham Barker does as well. He'll often bring a recording device with him, or drop a mic out of the hide hatch there just to get some ambient noise, which will then be looped in the background. For me, with the F82 as my main subject camera, obviously I use my GH5 for more kind of B-roll stuff. And even then, with my GH5, if I'm recording 60 frames a second, there's no audio, no inherent audio recorded by the GH5. So I do need something in the background. I do have a digital recorder with a small deck on it, and I'll take that out. And more often than not, if I'm in a particular location, I'll secrete this recorder where it can't hear me. It's a certain distance away, where I know it's safe, secrete it away, where it can't hear me crunching around or shifting kit and taking a nice ambient noise. There is a problem with this, and the problem is that if I'm using my F82 on a subject that's making a noise and I want to record it, the most obvious being, of course, a bird singing, then I really have to make sure that autofocus isn't on, so we're not getting the aberrations, the noises from the autofocus, because that can ruin audio of bird song. I have been known, semi-successfully or quite successfully from time to time, about dubbing audio taken from Zeno Canto. This is the smoke and mirrors bit. Black cap in the old world warblers. Black cap was dubbed from Zeno Canto because that was during the first lockdown, if you remember that vlog, because I had a pair of ladies arriving behind me with their dogs and having a chat quite loudly whilst I was recording this amazing piece of footage of a black cap singing. Couldn't use it because you could hear the dogs barking and the ladies chatting. I went to Zeno Canto, I downloaded Black Cap song, and I timed it frame by frame for the Black Cap opening and closing its beak, and visually it worked. So there are all kinds of dynamics with the F82. I don't want to downplay this piece of kit because it's been a lifeline, absolute godsend for me, and it's been the one piece of kit that tells me there can't be any snobbery here because it's not an expensive piece of kit, and it's certainly as sensors go, it's not got the best sensor, but it produces the most wonderful 4K footage and incredible optical zoom. And really, if I didn't denote to people directly what I was using when they were watching or seeing a piece of footage, they would assume, even the most ardent photographers would assume, that it was from a much more expensive piece of kit. But it does have the audio downfall. That's the problem. Whether that will change with new versions of the F82. I went to the Panasonic stand, the last Bird Fair 2019, said to the chap there, F82, is there a new version planned? And he went, no way, it's selling very well as it is, and no further upgrades planned for the F82 as of yet. But yeah, still my go-to piece of kit. And retailing now, incredibly, at less than £300, somewhere between £250 and £300. Incredible, really, considering. So that was a very long answer there. Where are we? Ian, what's your non-bird Dream UK species? Oh, jeez, right, to catch on camera. Well, before I got the pine marten, which you saw in one of the earlier vlogs. Before you saw the pine marten coming to the decking there, I've been recorded with this camera, the GH5, live through the curtains on the decking. That would have been my dream capture, and I still want to improve on that because I have a real penchant for pine martens, especially with falling in love with his dark materials and Pan. Outside of that, well, this is like favourite song and favourite album, isn't it? So many. I think I would like to get in, and I'm not just saying this is a question from yourself. I think I would like to film an adder, and I tried this year, failed miserably, up on Cannock Chase. I think I really would love to get low down. And I know it has to be low down to get the shots I kind of want right down in the adder's perspective, in the adder's world. Yeah, I think probably I'm going to say adder. And that isn't just because it's you here. That's because I really, really want to. I was so disappointed when I went to Canada Chess, but I got it all wrong. Got time of day wrong, probably the time of year wrong, probably got location wrong. So that's something I really, really want to work on this year, is getting closer to adder, and hopefully seeing some possible mating, or they do this kind of defending of territory, don't they? But they swirl around each other, they have these kind of fights. Yeah, so adder, there we are. Any plans to make another short film like the one about foxes? I would love to. I spoke to Molly only last week. I always speak to Molly just before Christmas, and I haven't seen her as much as I'd like to. And she's now the chair of Hersal Allotment, where Allotment Fox was filmed. And she's very keen for me to come back and cover them again. I know it's the same thing, but hang on, there is another brilliant element now to the allotments that has actually happened since. I didn't just miss them. It has happened since I filmed the original Allotment Fox. They're getting badges. They're getting badges, and this is inner city Coventry. But they are getting badges to the allotments now. They've been caught on trail cams. There's a bit of a mixed feeling about that. But I would like to capture that kind of the politics behind it as well, because obviously there's a lot of prize plots there, and the badges aren't negotiating them possibly as they should, not showing them the kind of respect that they would, that the allotmenteers would hope that they would. Of course, they're not going to, because they're digging for slug and grubs and stuff. But like to head back to Hersal allotments, cover the new line, the new hierarchy of foxes there. As you know, Whiskey, the only remaining fox from the original family, was still alpha female when I visited this time last year, virtually. But yeah, get back there and also get badges, so urban badges. And hopefully, with the really long days, try and get some daylight shots of them. Hopefully they'll act a bit like the foxes. They'll be a bit more comfortable in the daylight setting there. So yeah, I would like to do that. Yes, Natalie, I've heard that about the Berksville adders, and I'm sure I'm going too far for so many species. You do this. Isn't that the one thing that the lockdown has shown us? Is that miles on the road to find certain locations and reserves, to try and find certain species, and coming away and thinking wrongly that possibly you had to make that journey to see that and experience that, when this pandemic has told you really don't. So the discovery, the rediscovery of patches, local patches, has really opened up people's eyes, mine included. There's Camden Wedge just down the road from me here, and I remember that being an amazing place. I don't know why I've ignored that for years now. Camden Wedge, I need to go back there. Berkside, like Natalie says, amazing place. Around the countryside around there is stunning. So there are all these places in the locality, and that also, I think, is a good point for the new vlogs, is that I'm going to try and keep it as local as possible. Yes, there will be the holidays, there will be the escapes to the wonders of East Anglia, to the Highlands of Scotland. Hopefully this year, I'm on a tip for this actually from Ian Perks up in the Highlands, that I can get out with him and I can film him ringing osprey chicks, which blows my mind. And also he thinks that he would like me to use my drone to go and check nests for him, because prior to this he's had to scale trees, massive Caledonian pines, to check on the situation of a brood of ospreys, to see whether they can be ringed, or they're too young, too old. Whereas now, if I tag along with him, I can send up a drone just close to the nest, just peeking over the top to see how many chicks are there and whether they're viable to be rung or not. And then, of course, he can climb should he need to, but it won't be there'll be no kind of sort of failed attempt. We can use the drone to access that kind of data pretty quickly. But yeah, all these things are enough. So there will be glamorous stuff, but then I also really do want to promote my local yard here, and also some of the great Warwickshire Wildlife Trust reserves. I'm a really big fan of the trusts right now. Yeah, shooting raw, you need to use editing software. Sure enough. If you ever find yourself near London Lake Spring, Ian, please. Also, as well, I'd like to pop down there and get some of the deer, the semi-urban deer that are encroaching on the suburban estates. I know I'd probably loads of people down there filming and taking pictures, but I like a piece of the action. And also, you know, where you are, is it Brixton you're in? And some of those great urban foxes there, because they're a breed apart. And every city has its urban foxes, but your urban foxes, fantastic. Absolutely, Graham Barker. Internal noise on the F82 varies so much, but the picture quality really is top notch. It is. Audio is shocking with it. I mean, it's good enough if you stand away from the camera, you get a subject in frame, it's birds singing, stand away from the camera, think about your breathing as well. You don't want to be breathing all the night, just release yourself from the camera, don't touch it. And then sometimes you can get cracking audio to match the image. Yeah. Another key tip is these little tips with filmmaking is you know, something I've had to take time to learn, but hopefully I can kind of pass on. It's to stop holding your camera once you get a shot in. That was such a difficult one to get my head around, you know, initially, is that I'll get the subject in frame and I would still be handling the bar, or, you know, I'd have my hand around the camera body. Just step away, remove everything from that camera if something's in shot, and just let it do its business. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Oh, thank you, Graham from Naturally. How about doing some lives like this with a guest or two? Andy, yes, yeah, no, I'd like to, but then that would make me have to learn. Well, I need to master this, certainly the live streaming aspect, and how the switch screen. I mean, Keith, Eagle VP, you'll be able to tell me how we get about that. Yeah, I'm so naive with this. I'm a wildlife cameraman. I'm all you know. I'm all post-production skills and filming, and not live streaming. So it's something I need to get my head around. But yes, Andy, as soon as I get my head around this, which will be certainly in the next few weeks, then we'll certainly get people on. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I always love interviewing people. Ian's interview, when was that? April, May maybe. This last year was fantastic. You know, what a joy to bring a mind like that to you guys. And as I say, you'll be seeing a lot more of him coming up in 2021. Really looking forward to that. Thank you, Graham from Naturally Curious. I will, if you're suggesting you've got suburban housing estate there around yourself. Was it? I'm trying to think where it was now. Is it not some place called Winter Hill or something? I forget now. I know that I've located it before now. Another creature I'd like to film this year, going back to Ian Phillips' question, is Beaver. I really want to get some Beaver in the can. I do know of a couple of places up in Scotland, very small logs, quite remote, but accessible, where you can kind of bivvy, you can set up your hide and be relatively close to where beavers are making dams. So there's a chance I might, one night just jump in the car and think, I'll go for it. There's a lot more freedom in my life right now through to 2021 than there was last year. So I can certainly sort of do things now more spontaneously and on top of a hat, which is great. Looking forward to that. Wonderful to get these invites. So thank you, Ian Phillips. Thank you, Graham, Naturally Curious. Your mantra, Graham, absolutely. Enjoy the wonders of nature where you are. Absolutely. Yeah. That really is key, I think, for people to start, if they're going to start with nature, start with a local patch. I do run a course about wildlife filmmaking. And really, the mainstay of the course is to be passive and to have a patch. You know, you're going to learn so much from your local vicinity than you are anywhere else, and you have the time and you have the ability to learn so much, which then you can translate to places where, you know, maybe that are more remote, more glamorous, more exotic places. You do your learning in your local patch, and you start realizing the rhythms of nature in your local patch, and they do translate very well to other places. Once you understand sort of the undercurrent of what nature's doing, and because all this nature, all this life is doing things for a reason. Nothing's random out there. And once you understand these patterns and start to recognise rhythms, you can translate that to the Highlands of Scotland. You can translate that to the fens of Cambridgeshire. It all starts in your local park. Absolutely. So, Harold Hill, that's the one. Not Winter Hill. Winter Hill was a Doves track, I think. That's giving away one of my favourite groups there, Doves. Yeah, Harold Hill, Romford. Thank you, Graham. Naturally Curious, absolutely. So yeah, I'd like to get down there. I'd like to get the one shot I'm thinking I'd love to get isn't necessarily the daylight shots of them, although obviously, you know, I'd like to get the daylight shots of these deer. And I believe are they fallow? I think they're fallow deer. But I want to get kind of the sulphur light shots of these deer. I think they're much more atmospheric. And these wonderful yellow, deep yellow sulphur lights, urban lights, street lights, catching these deer. Fantastic. Really atmospheric, really enigmatic, and really want to catch that. So, right. The cat's pooing on my lawn. Ah, says Gail. This is the wonders of live stream. Fantastic. So yes, just to say that I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you're all looking forward to an immense New Year, because, you know, if there's a New Year of New Year's, then it's this one, isn't it? And I will be back, the vlogs will be back, and this is going to happen now, sometime in mid-January. Any more delay to that, then I shall let you know. But I shouldn't think so. I still have, or I already have some footage in the can, and we can start there. It's a good start, but it'll be an exciting year, and it'll be very visceral and very dynamic, because I want you to experience it as I experience it. That's all. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for the wonderful responses. Thank you to Graham Barker. Looking forward to seeing you again, Graham, very, very soon. Although tier 4, it seems a bit like that might be a delay, but hopefully not too long. Thanks to Ian Phillips. Thanks to Keith. Thank you, Keith, for your ongoing support, long-term ongoing support. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you. Natalie, thanks for dropping in. Thanks, Graham, Naturally Curious. Thanks, Andy, Well for a Lens. Lovely to see you also, Gail. Thanks for dropping in on my live stream, my very first proper live stream. Thanks, Hubby Tub. And thanks, everybody. Thanks, Darwin Digital. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you there. And I hope to see you again soon, if not before the middle of January for vlog one. So, thanks, guys. Happy New Year.